You ever read The Hockey Sweater? Yes. You know what I thought about it? Disgusting Habs propaganda. That's right. So you know what John Tavares said when the Habs asked if he wanted to play for them? I'll never wear that uniform. Hi. Victory puppy. Play the parade. I have no idea what I'm doing. John Tavares is the lead. This team is ruining my life. Victory puppies, boys! Oh, and you get double the victory treats because I owe you. Here, you gotta answer a trivia question for the second treat, okay? How many meetings has John Tavares had with the Montreal Canadiens? 2, and he scored in both of them! Wait for them to eat so I can clean up the crumbs. Is that 4? Leafs win! 4-3 in overtime over the Montreal Canadiens. Oh, do you feel it? Got a little rivalry going all of a sudden. Ooh, everyone stop it. You stop it right now asking for a Toronto-Montreal first-round playoff series. Do you think any of us would survive? All right, first of all, Habs fans are beside themselves online. My goodness. And I'm no better. I was calling for Babcock's head like a week and a half ago. Plus, the Leafs are nice and cocky against the Habs because despite getting outplayed twice, they've won both games in overtime. So the Leafs haven't experienced a loss against the Habs this season yet. There's still more games to go and it's clear that the Habs can hang. So between both fan bases, I'm not sure this country has enough diapers. Let's start with the Habs fans. If I were you, you're gonna think this is strange coming from me. Calm down. Good Lord, after the reaction to this loss, you'd think that you were cheering for the Ducks. You're still 3rd in the Atlantic, and after this loss, you're 7-1-2 in your last 10 still. In 56 games, you have 69 points, which is nice. Yes, Boston is right there, but Pittsburgh is not. Habs are 1 point up on the Bruins, and the Bruins have a game in hand, but Pittsburgh is 6 back. You know what you remind me of a little bit? The 16-17 Leafs. You head into the season, you got a few young pieces, so that's nice, but no one's expecting you to be any good. And then, oh my goodness, you get good. You win some games, all of a sudden the trade deadline's approaching and you're in a playoff spot. Given expectations heading into the season, that's amazing. But I remember what I said at the time, every time the Leafs hit a little bit of a bump. People go, well, if the Leafs miss the playoffs, is it that big of a deal because they weren't expected to make it in the first place? And what I said was, yes, it's a big deal because it would mean they had the spot and lost it. So even though you got this little cushion, I understand the anxiety. So maybe, just maybe, one day I'll take my own advice, but Habs fans, chill, you have a good team. That's how I would feel if I were you, which is a dirty lie because I don't feel that way currently. But getting to the game, Leafs win! Sure didn't look that way off the top. After a couple decent little starts in a row, well, that was never gonna last, was it? Habs get, I think, 3 shots on the first shift. Second shift, face-off win, Jeff Petrie puts it on, Andrew Shaw tips it in, 1-0 Habs right away. 51 seconds into the game. Is that good? That sounds bad. All right, the Leafs gotta find a way to respond. About a minute and a half later, oof. So, what happens when your team finds success? Often, people will find things that were previously considered failures and be like, hey, it didn't turn out so bad. And one of those things, more than fairly granted, is the Shea Weber deal. I've seen it coming up more and more often. Hey, the trade wasn't exactly a catastrophe, and you're right. Weber's been good. The team has been fantastic since he's gotten back. But the way it always works is once those things are said, something's bound to go wrong. Leafs applying pressure in the Habs zone. There's 3 forwards in there. Freddie Gauthier, Zach Hyman, and Andreas Janssen. The puck is in the corner and Shea Weber has it. Hyman strips him cleanly, and Shea Weber, of all people, is not hard enough on him. Hyman's allowed to just waltz behind the net uncontested, goes for the backhand wraparound, it doesn't go in, but rebound goes to Andreas Janssen, who Shea Weber has his back turned to, and it's a goal. And I know I just mentioned Shea Weber specifically because he's the one who had the turnover, but look at this! How did this screen grab result in a goal for the Leafs? Weber might have got stripped, but man, that's just terrible from the whole team. Hyman, absolutely fantastic work on that play. He's been great for a few games now, and Andreas Janssen, what I tell ya, call the grease police. Yanni shovels it in with his greasy spoon, and it's 1-1. And only like 2 minutes later, the Leafs are at it again. And pretty much the 2 guys solely responsible for this goal, as you'd expect, Nikita Zaitsev and Per Lindholm. Zaitsev with a nice blue line to almost blue line pass to Lindholm, who carries it in. Long distance shot that was a muffin, it was never gonna go in. Price steers it aside into the corner where Lindholm finds it. He grabs it, keeps skating, banks it off the boards to Zaitsev at the point. He just throws it on and what? Zaitsev, are you kidding me? Somebody stop this guy! Okay, I don't know if he's been that good, but he's scored again. His second of the season from Per Lindholm and Morgan Rielly with the very generous secondary assist. His 40th assist of the season, but it was very generous generous. Dude, Riley passed it to Zaitsev in the defensive zone. Zaitsev sends it up ice. Lindholm takes a shot, receives the rebound, passes it back to Zaitsev, who puts it on, and it's in. And Riley got an assist for that. Okay. I'll tell you who did deserve an assist, even though he didn't touch the puck, and maybe even scored the goal. I'm not sure. If you've been watching these videos for a while, I have something I like to call the Daryl Boyce assist. Daryl Boyce wasn't elite for very long, but when he was, he just parked his butt in front of the net and took away the goalie's eyes. Look at Freddie Gauthier here. There's no way Carey Price even saw the shot, and it's in. Carey Price is a really good goalie, and you're not allowed to run him, so what do? He's a great goalie. He's got amazing ability. If he sees it, odds are he's going to stop it, so prevent him from seeing it. Now, with Tyler Ennis coming back into the lineup soon, maybe even for the next game, I don't know, the Leafs have a decision to make. I doubt they just let Ennis sit there. I mean, maybe. But I would think one of Lindholm or Gauthier is coming out of the lineup. I would think it's Gauthier. Either way, it looks like the fourth line is either going to be Lindholm centering Ennis and Johnsson, or Gauthier centering Ennis and Johnsson. Both are absurdly good fourth lines. Now, this is great. The Leafs have the lead. Yes, the Habs have Carey Price. Yes, he's back to being one of the best goalies in the world. But the Leafs have Freddie Anderson. No, you're fine. That was not an accident. I know better. They just made it look like an accident. It's an elaborate blue blockade ruse. No, you're fine. He's fine. Oh, Freddie, shake it out. Do this. I'm a doctor. Sparks is good. And he's fine. Let me just look at Michael Hutchinson's AHL number. Oh, maybe that's his 982 and not 892. Oh, God. And then, sure enough, they throw a muffin at Freddie. It beats him on his glove side, and it's none other than the guy who fell on him, Thomas Tatar! And then he even fumbled with another routine save after that. Oh my God. But you know what? No! Because the Habs were in Freddie's kitchen all night making his life difficult, and he's shoving him off with that busted arm. And Tatar has the nerve to look surprised when that went in. I can't believe I scored with that shot. Can't you? You're the guy who ran him over. Don't give me that sauce, Tatar. That play seemed fishy. We head to intermission with a tie game 2-2, but we must get revenge. Leafs take a penalty in the third. All right, well, that's not how you do it. Well, actually, I've got to get ahead of myself. Before that, Max Domi takes a shot on Freddie Anderson. It's stopped. Puck goes in the air. Domi reaches his stick so high in the air that when he bats it in, no one even celebrates. No one on the ice, no one in the stands. They didn't even put on the goal horn. Jake Muzzin like, hey! He's a Leaf too. God, I love it. Anyway, the penalty kill. Now, the Leafs had been doing such a good job on the penalty kill. I know the Habs power play is one of the worst in the league, but they had a 4-minute double minor. And over those 4 minutes, the Leafs cleared the zone 11 times. I counted. And I'm watching that double minor like, man, the Habs lack any kind of creativity. They're just doing the same thing over and over again. Dump it and hope for the best. It's not working. So, to his credit, after that high stick goal that didn't count, Max Domi uses his speed to back up the Leafs defenders and gain the zone. Nice little give and go with Andrew Shaw. He gets it back. It's essentially a 2-on-1 against Ron Hainsey. Kapanen doesn't want to abandon the high guy. Pass over to Brendan Gallagher, who's completely uncontested. Goal. Habs are up 3-2. There's the goal horn that goes on for way too long. And they reviewed this, and I wish they hadn't, because they're like, oh, we're going to see if the net was off. Well, of course the net was off, but it doesn't matter. If one of the Canadiens' players crashes into the net and takes it off themselves, I think it's an issue. But Freddie knocked it off. And this wasn't a puck that was aimed, anywhere near the corners and may have missed if the net wasn't on. No, Freddie knocked the net off himself. It was a clean shot, clean goal. It's a goal. I saw a bunch of Leafs fans going, oh, they got that wrong. No. Even in the event the rule says that shouldn't be a goal, yes, it should be. A goal was scored into the center of the net in a play where the goalie knocked his own net off. No, that's a goal. And now the Leafs have about 12.5 minutes to tie it. And this is big. This is huge. If the Habs beat the Leafs here, playoff implications. They were daring to dream playoffs. All of a sudden, they're dreaming home ice advantage. They only need 1 minute. John Tavares, who finally decided to show up in Montreal, creates a turnover at the Leafs blue line. He bats it ahead to Willie, who's got Johnsson with him, and they both got speed. Now, because Willie and Johnsson are going so fast, you got Victor Mete doing the Colby Armstrong patented panic crossovers. And he eventually catches up with Johnsson and has him covered pretty well. But maybe there's a bit of a lack of communication or something, or Weber just doesn't know if Mete's going to get to Johnsson in time, so he doesn't fully commit to Nylander. This gives Nylander a clear lane. He walks in and says, "Hi, welcome to Willie's." William Nylander, what a shot! That's it, William. I see that smile, William. Hey, folks, can I let you in on a secret? Can I tell you something? Psst.
Nylander has 7 points in his last 7 games.
Oh yeah, buddy. And it's funny, after this game, Carey Price said, I should have had that Nylander goal. No, Anderson should have had the Tatar goal. This, I mean, I said earlier, if Carey Price sees it, he's probably gonna stop it. But the whole reason William Nylander is paid handsomely, oh, has that been documented yet? The reason he got that contract is, he's good. Oh, I know he didn't play that way for a while, but he's got a shot, friends. And when you're going up against someone with a shot like that, it's not always up to you. And I think that's also Price has taken the fall a bit for his teammate. The play was born of a turnover, and the defense pair was all caught up. But lost in this play, I gotta praise someone who I criticized a fair amount recently, Mike Babcock. And I gotta praise him in reference to a specific player, that being Andreas Johnsson. Johnsson was on the ice for all 3 of the Leafs' first 3 goals. He scored a goal where the other 2 forwards were Gauthier and Hyman. He was on the ice with his line mates on the 4th line, Per Lindholm and Freddie Gauthier on the 2nd goal. And on this one, he was on with a very strange duo. This is like a blend of 3 lines with Nylander and Tavares. Johnsson still played over 13 minutes, which is a lot for a 4th liner on Babcock's Leafs. Some of that was power play time, but still. Babcock did an excellent job of pretty much keeping everyone's minutes down in this game because they're on the first half of a back-to-back. He relied on a few of his guys heavily. John Tavares was one of them, playing nearly 20 minutes, but if you look at anyone on the roster and go, they sure played a lot, it was all on the penalty kill. 5-on-5 is when this game was most entertaining. Neither team really got anything going on the power play, even the Habs, who scored a power play goal. And Mitch Marner, who we're going to talk about, I thought he had a pretty pedestrian game by his standards. That guy played less than 13 minutes at even strength. Why? Because between the power play and penalty kill, he played over 6.5 minutes. And by the way, to solve your little mystery about Tyler Ennis, Gauthier played less than 8.5 minutes, Lindholm played 11. And some of that was killing penalties. Goat's the odd man out. The only player whose minutes you can look at and go, what the hell is that, is Travis Dermott, who played under 13 minutes. But Babcock, I think, has done this before. Really reserves Dermott's minutes in the first half of the back-to-back, lets him fly in the second. We'll see what he does against the Rangers. So I love Babcock. The Leafs are winning. Everything's great. Well, they're not winning. This one's tied. And it looks like it's going to go to overtime. Isn't that great? Oh, Nikita. Nikita, I've been defending you, Nikita! Oh, he just chucks it right over the glass with 30 seconds. Oh, they added more time. That's good. So now there's about 32 seconds where the Habs can just win this outright in regulation. But the Leafs kill it off, and we're going to overtime, where it's going to be 4-on-3. Man, penalties in overtime are like the kiss of death. 4-on-3, there's so much open space. And you know what? I saw some Habs fans talking about like, well, it's 3-on-3. Of course the Leafs won. Okay, wait a second. The Habs had the power play for a full minute and a half. Ron Hainsey was out there in 3-on-3 overtime for about 2 full minutes. Forgive me if I don't view that as an advantage for the Leafs. And everyone's raving about the pass from Mitch and the shot from Tavares. I think this goal was the result of a Philip Deneau mistake. Because Marner comes in with a little bit of speed, but then stops up. Tavares just heads straight to the net. Deneau just loses him a little bit, and that's all he needs. Granted, Tavares can put himself in the best position possible. How does Mitch Marner pull off that pass? Well, he does, because he's Mitch, ends up on Tavares' stick. Oh, John Tavares is a Leaf! And the Leafs win 4-3 in overtime. Their second overtime win against the Habs this season, and another game where you could say, easily, the Habs could have won. Just like the Columbus Blue Jackets could have won the Stanley Cup last season. And I don't really think that game was dramatically advantage to the Habs either. I think it was a tight, fun game that everyone should have enjoyed. There's a little bit of chippiness. Nylander gets blown up, and then there's a revenge hit from Kadri. We all know how much they love Kadri in Montreal. Price wanted one back, so did Freddie. If anything, special teams got in the way of what was a fun game. It was much better at 5-on-5. Leafs outshot by 6, 38-32, but at even strength, they were only outshot by 2. It was a close game. It'd be an awesome playoff series. One that none of us would survive. Questions? What series do you prefer? Classic Montreal versus Toronto or Revenge on Bruins? Alright, I'm gonna put it to bed once and for all that there's such a thing as an easy road to the cup. Let's say things pan out the way that they are today. The Leafs play Montreal in the first round. And that'd be a tight playoff series, and let's say the Leafs win it. Odds are the Leafs go on to play Tampa in the second round. Oh, Tampa's been monstrous this season. Actually, over the last 10 games, the Leafs have been hotter than Tampa, by the way. In fact, so have Montreal. So let's say the Leafs win this series too. In the conference final, you know who it's conceivable that the Leafs could play? Boston. Yep, the Leafs could win the first 2 rounds of the playoffs and still run into Boston. That is if Boston makes it through The Islanders. And of course, that's not even mentioning the Blue Jackets, the reigning Stanley Cup champion Washington Capitals, the Pittsburgh Penguins. There's no easy route. Hey, that'd be a fun series. Hey, that'd be a fun series. Do you find yourself saying that a lot? It's because good teams play fun hockey nowadays. It's awesome. Should Zaitsev shoot more often? Yes. He drives me nuts in his own zone sometimes, but that just makes him a Leafs defenseman. They all do that. Hell, Riley does that often, but dude has over 50 points. No matter what kind of a player you are, even if you're a defensive stalwart, you can't be a non-factor offensively. He's got to thread the needle more. He's proven that he's got decent offensive instincts when he actually uses them. He's got an okay shot. Use it. Yes. Is there anything more satisfying than sucking the air out of the crowd at the Bell Center? Well, who would want to do that? There were lots of Leafs fans there, my friend. Also, I don't know if I should be going to the Bell Center, because I've seen one Leafs-Habs game there, and the Leafs got destroyed. This was also the year that they finished last. And for Adam Wild's bachelor party, we went and saw a game in Leafs jerseys in Montreal, except it was between the Canadiens and Red Wings. Habs won 10-1. Did you know we're 4-0-1 in Muzzin's tenure? I wasn't gonna say anything, I think you just did. It's amazing what you can do with new toys, huh? How's the coffee today? Bien. Victory, puppy! Oh my goodness, that's not even a question, that's just a beautiful dog. Ooh, let's end on this, I actually really like this. Is Matthews ever gonna finish his checks? 6'3", and he whiffs every check, it's pathetic. So listen, some of you are defensive right now. I'm not gonna get defensive because I think this almost every game. Almost every game, there's at least one play where I'm like, hit him, Austin! And then you know what he does? He doesn't hit them, and instead makes a great play with his stick, strips them of the puck, and takes it for himself. There's more than one way to use your strength and size. It doesn't always have to involve throwing your body around. Guy's strong on his stick, he's good with his stick lifts, he's a Gronk. You see his shot? You don't think that requires a little bit of power? Look, every game, all game, I'm screaming at professional athletes, telling them what they should do. I am often wrong. Although I did tell Willie to shoot on his goal, I'd like to just say that I got that one. But there is no player on the Leafs I yell at more and am wrong at more than Austin Matthews. I think Austin might have earned the benefit of the doubt, guys. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. I'm getting closer to 100,000 subscribers, guys. I'm very excited about that. There is breaking news. The Ducks just fired Randy Carlyle. That happened just now. What else? The Marner jar is inching closer and closer to $6,500. Help me out there. And by help me out, I mean help out sick kids. And this team is ruining my life. My book, if you haven't pre-ordered it yet, maybe hold off till Monday. I'm just saying. Big week coming up. Take my word for it.